What's up, guys? It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. That's the British and white pronunciation of Los Angeles. And indeed, it is Tuesday, August 24th, 2021 AD, not CE. And I have a beautiful, quickly, let's get this out of the way. It's a fun song. It's not too long. I will talk you through it. This song is titled Catch 22. I like to play some of my throwback Christian music at the beginning of the show. Get me pumped up for the show. And for your benefit if you like to listen or practice your mute skills. It is Christian music, so it's, if there is such a thing. It's from Johnny Respect. I'm playing Johnny Respect this week is the idea. Monday through Thursday, maybe even Friday. Not sure what the plan is for Friday yet, but it's from the 1998 album Life Ain't What It Used to Be. So enjoy Catch 22, and I will hopefully have the lyrics on the screen, me pointing to them in the liner notes of the CD. Remember CDs, guys? So enjoy. And we'll get started with the show. Nice. Kind of 50s inspired. Punk rock, though. Pop punk, of course. Hake, there's nothing fun about your music, says Skip. I really like this album. Johnny Respect. Bulletproof Records. Christian label. I like the throwback feel to this, to their music style. 50s kind of feel. Doo-wop or rockabilly, whatever. I don't know. This song honestly stood. Great song, Hank. I want to jump into a mosh pit. Thank you guys for bearing with me through that. Emperor of Cats says skanks. Very Green Day says overtaxed in Minnesota. Triple T says Hake, no. But anyway, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Thank you guys, by the way, for the pre-show super chats. I appreciate that. Did you know that you can give super chats before the show even starts? I think that's pretty cool. By going to www. That's what you have to say for the boomers' sake so that they understand that it's a website. Stream, but you don't even have to type in the www. Or if you're black, you just say www. You don't even say the third W or the dot. www.streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Just don't type it that way. Dang, tried to miss this. I came in too early, says Slappy. I feel weird even saying his full name, but Slappy. Asmodor says, it had the virtue of being short, that song did. Yeah, true. Short and sweet, or at least short. I'm all about that Roxy and elsewhere. You're really dumping on country music Tuesday there, Hakester. Good point, DJ Onpa. You definitely need lyrics for these types of songs. Only Maze can understand what they're saying, says Lord Grimm. I will get to your calls, guys. Oh, so these guys inspired Sum 41, says Infobomber. Wow. Big if true. Anyway, guys, appreciate the feedback. Always fun. And thank you again for those of you who super chatted already, too, since the beginning of the show. I will be reading those, guys. Super chats on Trovo, as well as trovo.live/The Hake Report if you're smart or savvy, or streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. But first, I have some topics to get to. I didn't read to you about this topic. Let me see if I can drag this one from the yesterday's folder into today's folder, because I forgot to tell you guys about Malala. I mispronounced her name because I didn't know her name. Mahalalala. You guys remember the experts on the Jesse Lee Peterson show? Some of us, including yours truly. That would be me. Am I truly yours? Talked about these women being educated and how they're pushing the females and the liberals, the female-minded liberals, the communists, the globalist socialists, globalist socialism, communism worldwide, the UN types, the scum of the earth liberals and rhinos in the establishment here, the Hollywood horrible people push this education for women, Hillary Clinton types, everybody. The World Economic Forum probably does it. The UN is the evil United Nations, by the way. They're pushing for women to be educated. When women are working and educated, the whole community rises. It is a mischaracterization. It's ill-gotten gain. It is a deception. It's a lie, honestly. Hollywood. Yeah. Horrible. Not people of principle, of morals, of love for men and children and babies. They're for killing babies. Give me a break. Well, Malala is a woman, a Pakistani young woman who at age 14, the story goes that she was shot in the face like 10 or 11 years ago or something like that by the Taliban inside of Pakistan because she was a little activist. She was a little activist pushing for girls to be educated in her country. Because they're over in those Muslim countries, they're not as free as, for example, in America. But we've taken the free thing a little too far because freedom is not slavery to sin, which is what they promote, slavery to sin. Let it all hang out, be shameless. That's not actual freedom. That's not what freedom meant. When we started America, or when the founders started America, better men than most of us, they said, some of them said, John Adams, I think, said, freedom comes with morality. You cannot have freedom without morality. I'm paraphrasing. You need God. Well, the New York Slimes, the failing New York Slimes, I finally dragged this into the folder. I don't know if I gave you, I just went, because I have other pictures of her that I can drag in. Oh my gosh, I think I can. Malala. The New York Times put out this opinion piece by Malala, saying, I survived the Taliban. I fear for my Afghan sisters. And it's just this big propaganda thing about girls being educated in feminism and all that stuff. That's their only angle against the Taliban. And I'm dragging in a few more screenshots that are just called screenshot. Because she was on a Vogue magazine cover and a fashionable photo shoot last year in 2020, I want to say. Like June of last year, I think. Malala Yousafzai wore a headscarf in the Vogue photo shoot. And she said, I know the power. She said in June of, oh, you know what? It might have even been this year. June of this year. I know the power that a young girl, because she has a British accent, carries in her heart when she has a vision and a mission. And I hope that every girl who sees this Vogue cover, because she appeared on the cover of Vogue magazine, can change the world. Thank you, British Vogue. And some of these other people. The extraordinary life of Malala, survivor, activist, legend. And they're propping her up. I made the joke that she's been 15 for like forever. But she's actually 24 or something like that, I heard. And the reason that I mock this whole Malala hype is because I don't know anything about her. I just know that she herself is a tool. She's being used, and she's willfully being used, by the way, by the globalist socialists, the globo homo, as some people say, the ones who want to enforce their false religion, and it is a false religion, on to society and countries around the world, including America. What a disgrace. Propped up by the worst of the worst. Oprah types. That one lesbian woman who's too white to still be on air anymore. That dykey woman with the short hair, blonde. She's so-called married to another blonde. Hard to express my joy and gratitude right now as I completed my philosophy, politics, and economics degree at Oxford. You know, this woman is insufferable. I don't know what's ahead for now. It will be Netflix, reading and sleep. Because she graduated, I think, from the University of Oxford last year, June of 2020. And she hung out with that other insufferable, meaning you can't stand her, Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg, the environmentalist, the Swede. I know a Swede who's better than her, Samuel the Swede. Shout out to Samuel the Swede. He taught me how to pronounce Greta Thunberg. And they met in Oxford. Greta is the 16 or 18-year-old girl who's like, how dare you? Said that we need to campaign against climate change. And all the suckers rallied behind her as if she's some inspiring young woman. She's like autistic or something. Can a girl be autistic? I forget what she is, but she's a mentally ill Swedish child, as that one excellent Daily Wire host who has appeared at one of our men's conferences once described her, and then he was like banned or suspended from appearing on Fox News after that. Psh. Terrible. Why the scarf? Oh yeah, she's oppressed, SMH says Miklo El Chicano. Miklo, great reference. Yeah, and then she says, oh, I choose to wear this. It's not a sign of oppression. Greta is scary. Thunberg. Terrible people. And so this is all a big pretense. It is, I learned that globo homo is not necessarily just a reference to homosexuality, although they do promote that big time around the globe, including in countries that are actually suffering from AIDS and stuff, such as many countries in Africa, such as Ghana and Kenya and places, Christian countries or countries with Christian influence. Thank you, I guess, to the missionaries who went there and brought Christianity to the country, and they started to improve. But they're like, no, you can't be opposed to homosexuality. They outlawed homosexuality because homosexuality is that disgusting act is partly responsible, majorly responsible for overwhelmingly for the spread along with sharing needles, of the AIDS mess, right? And even in South Africa, I heard that they were at least dealing with the AIDS and HIV madness because they're having sex like crazy and they don't have good hygiene and stuff like that, supposedly. Terrible. And so New York slimes, the ones who slime America and America-loving people such as our real President Trump and our former greatest congressman, Stephen King of Iowa, who appeared on my show a few months ago. They just smear all the decent people, New York slimes, the failing New York slimes, I would add. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's so phony. Give me a break. Biden has evacuated a bunch of supposed Americans along with a whole bunch of anti-Americans, no doubt. And many of the so-called Americans who are in there are anti-American Americans. Wrong, Hake. What am I wrong about, Jim Justice? Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you. And meanwhile, like, there's attacks on Americans here in America, right? Not the least of which is the border madness, the border crisis. It's ridiculous. So that's a shame. That's a shame. Oh, by the way, just let me show you this clip. This is clip 12. This is the Taliban got a bunch of guns. Go ahead and show this. It's like 2 minutes worth of them showing their guns. It's a little, I might not have done the best. Okay. Look at this. Look at all these guns. Heaven. I'm playing around. I'm not that into guns, but guns are cool. I messed up the clip, guys, but bear with me here. Look at this. These are rifles that the Taliban got. I think those might be American rifles. They don't look like AKs, which are also cool, but these are like, I guess they don't use M16s anymore. M16 is from when I was a kid. But look at those things. Whole bunch of, what are those things? ARs? Tons and tons of guns. Oh, I don't know if maybe it amounts to a ton, but those are like dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds and hundreds. And pistols, too, they just showed. Bunch of pistols. Never seen such a stockpile. And I guess, is that what America left in a hurry? Or am I falsely assuming that's not Americans? Those are what Americans gave to the Afghanistan military that ran off. The ones who are 70 to 80% of them would not pass a drug test because they get high on what? What do they get high? On what do they get high? Look at all these people in their pajamas, as someone described. I'm kidding. Man. That is interesting, huh? Mostly peaceful stuff, though. Man, and I saw a photograph of a couple of guys that were scruffy with their beards and stuff, and yet they weren't dressed up in this Taliban outfit or, this Middle Eastern garb. They were dressed up in, like, American T-shirts and fatigues, camo, a Ford truck. They were standing in front of a Ford truck. I thought it was mostly Toyota stuff. I guess the terrorists drive Toyota, and the Americans drive Ford. Wow. Trippy, huh? These guys can barely pick up those guns, too, by the way. Pretty heavy-duty stuff. What a mess. So, do you have that picture of them standing in front of show that picture of them, Taliban, Afghanistan Taliban in American costumes. And you know that they look like, it looks like when you see those commercials of the caveman who's dressed up, because they're just not clean cut. They have a caveman face. And by caveman, I just mean scruffy beards. I'm not saying that they're Neanderthals. Neanderthals are smarter than the average human, right? I don't even believe in that stuff. But look at that. Wow, a Ford truck. Beautiful Ford truck, by the way. Radar on top of it, I think. And guns. Crazy. Ranger hat. Terrible. Anyway, I have more stuff to get to, guys. Oh, man. Such mess. Pelosi was at a party. You guys probably saw that. And some other things to get to. But first, let me get to some calls. There's one line open, guys. You can call in 888-775-3773. First, let me get to Mike in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mike, how are you doing?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Going well.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Man, dude, I really enjoyed your part of that interview yesterday, man.
Oh, you're talking about on the Jesse Lee Peterson show with the Paul and Morgan?
Oh, yeah, dude, looks like all those Bible thumping days paid off, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I out-thumped the Bible
I was
thumpers.
like, man, James like a secret weapon, man.
I don't know if that really gets to people, though. I was thinking yesterday about how we want to, we, including me, but people in general want to change people's minds. The evil people want to change the people's minds to be for outright evil. And the decent people want more people to see the light. And there's a lot of like, how do I talk to these people? What if I don't know enough? I talked to one young man who was taken aback because he didn't know about Americans and smallpox and whatever we may have done that hurt the Indians, maybe.
Yeah, that's a myth.
Yeah, I think it is. But my point is, you don't even necessarily have to know all that stuff because Jesse Lee Peterson, I heard Jesse Lee Peterson say multiple times that after God changed his heart from hate to love, then he changed his mind about politics. So you change the heart first. So that you have to be an example of love more than anything. That's more important than getting all the facts and thumping correctly.
Yeah, and I think what love is truly just, it's honesty.
Stay close to your phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just sounded kind of far off, but maybe it's okay.
Yeah, I think that love is honesty because, I mean, that's one of the hardest things to do sometimes is to tell people the truth because it's not always easy to hear.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
especially
for those who still have fear. It is difficult to tell the truth.
Right, and a lot of times, it will cost you a relationship with somebody, but
yeah,
if you love them enough to be honest with them, that wouldn't matter.
Yeah, you have to love the truth, love what's right, love God more than keeping the peace when there is no peace, or the relationship when there is no relationship, or the friendship when there is no friendship.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe the smallpox things, considering germs wasn't discovered until like the 1860s or something.
Oh, yeah. It certainly probably wasn't intentional, if it did happen.
Yeah, and what's interesting is there's a podcast I listen to. I'm not going to name it, but you probably like them. They were talking about that, and the guy that actually invented germs, they put him in an insane asylum. They thought he was crazy.
Who invented or like discovered
or
came up with the idea that, oh, these are germs? He came up with that
notion?
Yeah,
he discovered them, and for like 30 years, all the doctors, everybody thought he was a nutcase until they invented the microscope.
Wow, that is interesting. Yeah. You hear that story about Galileo. I don't know if it's true, but Galileo said, oh, the earth is not the center of the universe, and the church supposedly, whatever the country that was and whatever church that was, said, oh, you're to be excommunicated from the church for saying this.
Yeah.
And because he went against the establishment, and right now the establishment is pushing stuff that they have no proof of. It's politically motivated, such as this climate hype and all that other stuff.
Man.
And the vaccine hype, they're a mess.
Yeah, dude, it's something else, man. And one thing you said yesterday that, man, I really loved it. you said the majority is not the authority.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so, it's clever, yeah, but it was so true.
Right.
Because, everybody knows you're not supposed to follow the crowd. Everybody
Right.
knows this.
Yep.
But because they're led by their women, I noticed that women, it's extremely important to them to follow the crowd because being accepted and liked, it seems to me that it's more important to them than what's right.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it for myself over and over again.
I've noticed that too. That's why it's not a good idea for women to be worrying their pretty little heads about politics because they'll get all hyped up and involved in stuff that they don't really understand or they think that they understand, and then they'll bash people over the head with it in the wrong way, and they'll turn people away from the truth, whether they know the truth, whether they know stuff that is quote-unquote truth, or whether they are pushing, the side of lies, whether they're conservative or liberal. They do it they go about it in the wrong way. They still have fear, they still have insecurity, they're fake, conceited, arrogant. It's a bad thing.
And they truly believe that they're right.
Yeah.
Like the Leanna caller, like that. You could tell she's seeking, but it seems like it's really hard for her to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's hard for them to see things from a different perspective once they've established a feeling about it, or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like once they believe something, it's hard to convince somebody otherwise. And, it was interesting when I first started coming to Bond, excuse me, it was eye-opening to see so much about myself, when I started doing my prayer and, really living in the moment and staying in the present instead of getting in my thoughts. Because, I wasn't a Bible thumper, but I'd say I was an intellectual at one time. I didn't go to school, but I read a lot of books. And it was interesting to know that, it's funny, there was a quote I always liked that said, to really know something would mean to know that you don't know anything. But I never actually believed that until this year. And
wow.
It's interesting how I used to, when I first started waking up, I used to feel sorry for people that couldn't see, but I don't know if it makes me like cynical, but I kind of enjoy watching people suffer. like I don't like put them down for it or laugh at them, but it's like that's the only way it happened for me.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And so I enjoy it in the sense that I know what they're going through is necessary. Yeah.
Cool.
And it is a little fun to watch sometimes, especially if you warn somebody.
and you know what? The suffering often humbles the people. It shakes them and wakes them up, and they're better afterwards, or they're better through it.
That's something we definitely need in this country is more humility.
Yeah. That's cool,
But anyways,
man.
I'll let you get to the other callers, man. I just want to call and chat with you.
Appreciate it.
And
can I tell who
really
you
love
are
your
as your chat name?
Of course, man.
This is Joel Never Did That.
Joel never did that.
Nice, man. Appreciate it. It's great to meet you at the men's conference.
I was very impressed. I don't know if you were looking it up as you were talking to them, but I'm sure a lot of it you probably remembered. And it was really interesting how, I thought it was funny when you called them out for twisting it, and then they just kind of glossed over it like it's no big deal.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is kind of a big deal because you're the one thumping everybody.
Yeah.
You should be clear on what you're saying. If you're not sure, like, what are you doing going around thumping people in the head with it?
Yeah. So true.
And I thought it was interesting when they were like, oh, do you read the Bible? And I love your guys' answers. You're like, a little bit sometimes.
Right.
And you're just like, they're so shocked about it.
I know.
And then they start quoting the scriptures to you, and you come back with the correct one. I was dying, dude. I was dying.
That is funny. Nick was the one who looked up the different translations of that thing about God, male and female, he created them. And in the image in his image, he created him. Nick looked that up and handed it off to me on his phone, handy-dandy phone. Nick is quick,
dude, that
man.
was so funny to me. It was right after they were like, "Oh, do you read the Bible?" And you're
right,
like, a little bit. I used to read it a lot.
Yeah.
And then turn around, they know less about it than you do.
Yep. What a shame. And you're right, they do
Yeah.
gloss over it. It reminds me, I'm going to have a debate. I'm on Modern Day Debate. Did you know that? This coming Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern is the plan. I'm going to debate
Where do I find that?
The YouTube channel is called Modern Day Debate with a hyphen in
it'll
between
be
Modern
something
Day
I
Debate.
can watch a little later because I got my daughter's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can watch it. You
open
can.
house this
It'll
Wednesday.
still be, assuming it doesn't get banned for hate speech or something. It should still be online long afterwards. You can audio podcast it afterwards, I believe.
And what was it called?
Modern Day Debate. Yeah,
Modern Day Debate. Okay.
I'll be debating this guy named Brent Langell, who is a Black Lives Matter supporter. And I super chatted into Modern Day Debate months ago, when Brent Langell was debating another guy about Black Lives Matter, because he was putting out all this incorrect information about Breonna Taylor and all these other Black Lives Matter people. And I was correcting him on it factually, and he would brush it off just like Paul and Morgan did. Oh, well, that's irrelevant to the point. He said that she was shot and killed in her sleep in bed. That's not true. He said all kinds of stuff that wasn't true. So
yeah, we know what happened with that. At least,
yeah,
we definitely got some more clarity after it happened than what they were saying in the beginning.
Right.
And it's interesting how, that I'm really glad to see so many like online channels taken off because, I still watch a little bit of the mainstream, but, after the whole thing in January, like I turned off Fox for months, dude. And it was hard because I love Tucker, but it kind of disappoints me that he's constrained. I'm sure he would like to talk about more, and it disappoints me that he's constrained. And it's like, at some point, I know he's the highest paid guy in news, I'm sure. I mean, he's got to be pretty up there.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, like, how much money is enough money before you cut the leash and you go out on your own.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I was a little disappointed with him with that, but I mean, I still love his commentary. But I notice now that I wait and see it, I notice that there's things that he doesn't talk about, and I understand it. I mean, the guy's got a family, and he wants to keep his job, and he's on Fox Nation now, so he's doing big things. But same thing with
I'll tell you one thing: being on those platforms, you can kind of pick and choose what you say, and there's a time for that because he's reaching a lot of people. He's doing a lot of good in his position. So I'm fine with him not addressing certain things.
And I agree with you on that. That's one of the things that actually it did cross my mind. It said, it was like, well, even though he doesn't have free reign like I think he should, he's got 20 million viewers or something like that. Like,
and it's remarkable what he does cover. The things that he does say, it's like, wow, he's still allowed to say that on Fox News? I remember 20 years ago, like JLP was a regular on Fox, and the things that he would say are just how normal people talk, right? And that was so refreshing, and that's why Fox took off, but they kind of went towards the woman thing and the LGBTQ friendly, IQ friendly thing, and the liberal sons took over, and a woman started running the show, and all kinds of mess. So
yeah, I noticed that too, because I've watched a lot of the old interviews and stuff, and I noticed that like Jesse was on Hannity's show a lot, and
yep.
One thing that really turned me on to him was that you don't see him on there. He might go on once in a while. I can't remember the last time I seen him on there because I don't watch it as much.
Right.
But like, I imagine you get paid to come and be a commentator on the show, and it seems like.
In general, I mean, unless you're so they came up with this thing called Fox News Contributor, and that's what they do regularly now. You'll notice that they have, if you watch it all, you'll notice that they have the same guests over and over again. That's a new thing. Before, people were not paid. People who are one-off, they don't get paid. One-off guests do not get paid for appearances.
It just seems to me that
unless you're Barack Obama's brother or the Malik Obama, he's like, I only do media interviews if you donate $500 to my foundation. So those people, if he like demands a payment, then I guess they pay him. But in general, normal guests are not paid. Regular appearances back then, Unpaid, man.
Well, it does seem to me that Jesse gave up a lot to stick to the truth. Like, I'm not sure what happened along the way.
Oh yeah, he's
But
been
I
kicked
noticed-
off of major platforms, and they've offered for him, oh, we'll keep you on if you say this, if you say, oh, Jesus is God, type of stuff. But no, he sticks with the truth. He loves the truth more than other worldly opportunities will come. One door closes,
Yeah.
another door opens. That's
I
why
love
you notice
just
that
like
he's
a
not
normal guy.
he's not worried and upset about the suppression on these major social media platforms. He does tries to
never
be
struck
wise
me as
about
the
it,
type
but
of-
yeah,
He never struck me as the type of person to put money above other things
Right.
that are true.
yep,
And that's in the world we live in, that's hard to do for a lot of people. Like, I see it with my own friends and stuff, and it's really good to see. I mean, it really isn't everything.
yeah,
I mean, you need a certain amount. It's a tool, of course, but people. When I learned about finance, a lot of people think, oh, well, if I just made more, I could do this. And it's
I
like,
know.
well, if you can't manage small money, you can't manage big money. The
Yep.
only difference is the decimal.
true.
And people spend their whole life chasing that. And
Such a
they-
shame. Got to have the right God. I appreciate it, Mike. It's great to hear from you, man. Take care.
all right, you too, man. I'll look forward to seeing your debate, the Black Lives Matter guy on Wednesday, 6 p.m.
Sounds
Modern
good,
day
man.
debate.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Yeah, I gave super chat after super chat after super chat. It was one Saturday, like May, maybe 29th. And it got James Luntz, I think. Is it Luntz? Kuntz. Kuntz? Or K-U-N. I forget what his name is, but he's an excellent guy over at Modern Day Debate. He doesn't take sides, although I think he is a decent person. And I feel like I've seen him in sometimes the Fallen State chat, at least a year or two ago. And he's so he invited me on to debate this guy whom I was peppering with super chat questions a couple months back. So it should be fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll post it on. I actually have a link to it if you go to thehakereport.com. It's up top. A link to the video that is scheduled, the live video that is scheduled. It's a YouTube video on Modern Day Debate. Do a highlight video of the interview with Paul and Morgan. You guys wrecked them with perfect love, especially you, Hank O'Fire, says Captain Red Skull. Thank you, man. I think that we did put out a clip of that entire interview anyway. Some super chats, guys, and then I will get to some more calls and other things. A single mom on welfare gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report and said, nice to still hear the galaxy explosion noises before each show. Right on, single mom on welfare. Thank you for the support over there on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Kyle B gave a super chat on Streamlabs. Said, Rashad Ritchie has a menacing, squinty turtle face when he is thinking really evil. Wet face. Rashad Ritchie. Why do I recognize that name? Oh, that's that weaselly black guy who interviewed JLP for about 2 minutes before hanging up on JLP and grandstanding about how politically correct he is. He's on the Young Turks, right? Can you Google a picture of his face? Rashad Ritchie, Richey, just to confirm or deny what the truth, the veracity of Kyle B's statement. Rashad Ritchie has a menacing, squinty turtle face when he is thinking really evil. What face? Interesting. Well, thank you, Kyle B. Rashad Ritchie, he's black. He's on the Young Turks network. Shameful. I feel like I saw a super chat from Trovo.live. Yes, Cheesehead69 says, Hake, you brutally mogged, M-O-G-G-E-D, mogged Paul during the interview on JLP yesterday. Thank you. Mogged. Is that a bad word? There's Rashad Ritchie. His tender heart could not take the truth that JLP was spouting. Mogged is when you have so much more muscle and are just so overall larger than the person next to you or group of people you're around. Thank you. Sounds good. As a JLP mogged Rashad Ritchie is light-skinned, black, intellectual, liberal, phony, poser. Probably not a Christian. I'll give you that much. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Cole gave a regular chat, a YouTube comment. YouTube comments are excellent, guys. I like YouTube comments. And stated Leviticus 20:10. This is for Liana in Florida. Shout out to Liana. Yesterday, she talked about Jesus and the woman at the well. Oh no, Jesus and the slut who was caught in adultery, whom they wanted to stone, and they didn't mention anything about what they did or didn't do regarding the man she was supposedly caught with, right? Leviticus 20:10, says Mrs. Cole, the quote, if a man commits adultery with another man's wife, with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress must be put to death. Aha. Both the man and the woman. So it's not just the man, Liana, just so you know, that's in the Bible. It's a fact. So don't be telling me about all this anthropology stuff. Anthropology shows that they didn't punish the man, they only punished the woman. That's not true. Maybe by the time of Jesus' time, you know, the males were like, oh, that's all right. Give him a chance. And now it's so bad they want to give the males and the females a chance. That's even worse. Super One Fluidity says, thanks for looking that up. I think that lady was confused. Maybe she intended to point out that in the Bible, men could divorce, put away women, but not the other way around? I don't know. Max Rex, by the way, in the chat, in the YouTube comments, had a brutally honest statement about Liana, the caller yesterday, young lady, nice lady. I'm already sick of Liana's calls. He misspells her name. Well, I don't want to spell it out loud, maybe, because I don't want to dox her. She's an intellectual, egotistical woman infiltrator of Bond. Side note, women don't know anything about music, but can sing well. Oh, yeah, because she was talking about Metallica. Metallica's concert from 1991, before she was born, I think. Over in, like, Russia, or after the Berlin Wall came down. I guess East Germany was run by Russia or something. Interesting. I do think that is true. There is a mask that goes on. Many women and many males, too. Lines are full, guys. Lines are full, but people aren't real. Mask comes off after a while. How do you pronounce that pro-black commie guy's name again? Tiny hot seat coats? Close, very close. Ta, and it looks like Nehisi, but it's pronounced Nahasi. Coats. Ta, T-A, hyphen, capital N-E-H-I-S-I, something like that. And then last name Coates, C-O-A-T-E-S. And he's a dumb liberal, worse than even his father, who was or maybe still is, a Black Panther, ran a Black Panther bookshop. And Ta-Nehisi Coates, just like his dumb father before him, brainwashes his child to believe that racism is why blacks are suffering at the hands of police. What a liar. And he called for the taking down. He was propped up by the far-left Enemies of America Atlanta and Atlantic magazine, The Atlantic. And he's written books that were, all the movie stars. It's the hip thing to do. Let me read Between the World and Me, or whatever dumb book that he wrote. By the way, you know that actor who I confuse everybody for him? I confuse every black for him. Denzel Washington. He appeared in this movie Equalizer Part 2, and he was pretending like he was reading some Ta-Nehisi Coates book. Subversive. Evil. Sucker. Dumb. Pushing the fake idea of racism. Give me a break. Not a Christian, by the way. Definitely not a Christian. Hates Jesse Lee Peterson, by the way. He wrote he wrote this little post in, I think, The Atlantic, about how Jesse Lee Peterson said, thank God for slavery. what a Uncle Tom or something like that. And he never responded to our invitations over the years, a few invitations, to appear on the JLP show. Coward. A woman, female-minded liberal. And he used to debate with that. There's this one white, supposedly liberal guy who also writes for, like, Atlantic or something. Just a bunch of phony people keeping in their own little world, their walled garden, to hide from the truth. If Paul and his wife truly followed the Bible, she would have been quiet, or he would have told her to be quiet, as in, women should be quiet in church, says Gal40, over there on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Yeah, there is a time to be quiet. Ask your husband if you have a husband. But you can ask Jesse if you're a woman, but be quiet and listen and actually ponder. Don't be so quick to argue. So quick to argue. Speaking of this mess, let me get to Tony in California. Your friend, Tony. Is he your friend? Tony, how are you doing?
Good morning, Hank. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, I was calling about the situation. I see y'all speaking on women that should be working. Sound more like the Taliban. They don't allow women to work. And here in America,
Are the Taliban wrong about everything?
are they wrong about everything?
Yeah,
I would say most of it is wrong.
but
yes.
that's not what I asked you. Are they wrong about everything?
I don't know what everything includes, so I can't speak on that.
So you don't know.
I said I don't know. I just said I
Are they
don't know
wrong
what
about women not working?
Yes, yes.
How are they wrong?
definitely-
How are they wrong about women not working?
Because just like you and Jesse speak on women shouldn't be working, but
So
if
they're
you
wrong.
research-
They're wrong because they sound like Jesse and me.
Listen, can I finish my speech?
No,
If
because
you
you
look at-
didn't.
I
You
know-
mentioned us
when you
when
go
we have
on-
nothing to do with the Taliban.
Well, I mean, y'all got the same thought pattern.
I know, but
Y'all
you
got
can't
the
even
same
explain why it's wrong.
ideology. Right, if you let me speak, I'll explain. it to
No,
you.
because you're bringing us up when we have nothing to do with the Taliban. So how is the Taliban wrong? Without mentioning
it's
Jesse
not.
or me.
Well, because y'all got the same thought pattern.
Explain. Oh, that's why the Taliban is wrong?
Well, it's wrong. Women should be able to do what they want to do.
Why?
They're human beings. That's why.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, well, it
Lots
means a
of
whole
human
lot.
beings can't do any old thing that they want to do.
Why they can't? If you put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want to do.
But it doesn't make it right.
Well, in whose book?
In the reality.
No, that's your reality.
There is no such thing as my reality.
Why
There's
is
just
that?
reality.
Okay, so what's going on in this world today is not right for women to be out
Yeah,
here
there's a
doing
lot
what
of
they do.
there is a lot of evil in the world today.
It's gonna be evil as long as you got breath in your body.
That doesn't make it
read
right.
Evil
Just because
45:7.
exists doesn't make it
Isaiah-
right.
Isaiah
Tony?
45:7. God created all
Are
things,
murders
including-
are murderers
including
right to
evil.
murder, Tony?
Hey, what you told
Are
me?
murderers
It's a time-
right to murder?
You said it was a
Is
time
it
for
right to
everything.
murder?
It was a time for everything.
Is it right to murder,
It's a time for everything, brother.
including murder?
Just like
There's
you
a
told
time to
me.
murder.
Yes, it is. It's
Wow.
to kill. You said it's
Even
time-
though
you said it was a-
God
it's time to kill.
said, thou
What?
shalt not murder.
And God 45:7, Isaiah 45:7.
God
said
45:7.
He created evil. God created all things.
And does it make
including
evil good? Does that make evil good just because God allowed evil?
If God brought it in this world, it must be good.
You don't. Okay, so you good then because you're evil.
But that's your opinion.
Are you
That's
good
your-
because you're evil? Are
and
you
that's
good
your
for being
opinion.
evil and a liar?
That's your opinion.
I'm asking
all
you.
are liars.
I'm asking you, Tony.
Every human being that breath in the body is liar.
You're a joke.
Every human being in this earth is an evil person, everybody.
Especially you,
including you and Jesse.
Tony the Snake. You're a
That
mess.
Propaganda y'all doing? It's gonna
Propaganda
backfire.
is all you do. All you ever do is lie, Tony. You come in and lie.
I heard Fox News say
I gotta go. You're a waste of time. He's just talking nonsense. Not a serious person. Let me move on. Let me move on. Josh in Wisconsin. How are you doing, Josh? What's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. It's a little rough, but
All right.
we'll do it.
Hola from Wisconsin.
Nice. Hello to Wisconsin.
Well, thank you. Well, my question is about false labeling. And what do I mean by false labeling? Well, I'm going to refer to them as black in this discussion. I have some black people that I know that prefer to be called African American.
Okay.
And I have some other black friends who prefer to be called person of color. Now, I don't care what you call yourself. You can call yourself African European. Doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect me at the end of the day. And I respect that. But
so you obey them when they ask you to call them by those things?
Hold on. It's not my number one priority to remember what to call you. So sometimes I don't remember what to call you, and I just call you black. Am I disrespectful for doing that?
Not necessarily. If you just forgot, it's not necessarily disrespectful. And it's silly anyway.
Thank you.
You needed me to tell you that so that you have some backup?
Oh, no, because I have some persons of color that don't like your show.
I would imagine so.
And I know that they're watching this right now, so...
oh, they're hate watchers?
I'm on the Hake show, brothers.
Are you black?
I love your show, man.
I appreciate it. Are you black or are you white? Or what are you?
No, I'm Latino.
Okay. And so you have black friends, but you...
Yeah,
what do you call them? When you are just talking normal, what do you call them?
If I'm just talking normal, I call them black.
Okay.
But if they bring up the fact that, hey, I prefer to be called persons of color or African American or blah, 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 I'll respect that, and I'll call them African American, whatever.
Man, that's dumb and so brainwashed to want to be called African American. I ain't mixed. I ain't that African American bleep. I'm an N-word. To quote the song. I'm quoting a rap song, guys.
What does Jesse prefer to be called?
He's black.
Exactly. He's just black.
Right. When you refer to his race, he's black.
Yeah. And
but before that, he's above all, he's a son of God.
Right.
And then he's American. And he's black.
That's what I call myself too. I just call myself American. I don't call myself a Spanish American. I just call myself an American. That's
right.
what I am.
So you're from Spain?
No, I have Spanish ancestry.
Oh, okay.
But
nice.
I was never born in Spain.
Yeah.
I was born in America.
Okay. But your ancestors were born in Spain?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're real Spanish.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
You're not by way of the Central and South America or Mexico or whatever.
I'm sorry, what?
You're not from Central or South America or whatever. Your ancestors or your parents or whatever.
No, they were from Spain.
Nice. Dang.
Yeah.
That's old school.
And the thing about calling yourself an African American and relating it to black is not right, because not everyone that is African is black.
Right.
There are white Africans.
True.
There are all sorts of Africans.
And you calling yourself African American, that separates you from America. And calling yourself person of color, that separates you from white people. It puts you, because a lot of people are called them nowadays. I think that colored people used to meant, in America, colored people meant blacks. And now that just means anybody who's not white. So it just pits everybody against whites. And it's silly. You can say you're black because that's how normal people talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just say, you're the most unpolitically correct person I've ever met.
Wow.
And I respect you for it.
There are people who call into my show and call us Caucasians. A lot of blacks call us Caucasians, which doesn't really bother me, but it seems a little funny. But worse, they try to needle you and needle me and call me white. I'm a pink. You're not white. You're pink. You're so-called white.
I know. There was one color one time that called you European.
Right. Yeah, I'm not European. I have many generations removed from Europe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, if you call yourself, European's a nationality. You have to be born in Europe in order to call yourself European. You have to be born in Africa in order to call yourself African.
Right.
I mean, I guess if you were born in Africa and then you came to America and gained citizenship in America, then I guess you can call yourself an African American. But that's very
It's more
rare
like
that
you
that
could say you're a naturalized American, born in Africa. Naturalized means that you were, I don't know, naturalized is a weird word. You became a citizen in your adulthood.
I know. Well, thank you very much for taking my call, Hake. You have a great day.
All right. I wish you well, Josh. Watch your back with
will.
your African-American and POC friends.
Oh, yeah, I bet I will.
Let me know how it goes. Take care.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Nice. Wow. Hydro says, it looks like it took the Taliban to take over Kabul for Tony and Joe to think of comparing you guys to them. Did Joe do that too? I don't know if Joe did that. He keeps on trying to go with the Nazi angle because he thinks he's better than a Nazi. Talk about a blind person. A person who supports Obama thinks he's better than the Nazis. And where are the Nazis now? Obama's still wreaking evil into the country and the world. Tony sounds like he smells. Says, I don't like Tony. That's the name of this person. I don't like Tony. With a super chat. Wow. Wow. Malice. Is that malice? What a shame. Don't be disliking people. I don't know if he sounds like he smells, but it's an interesting suggestion. He may. You ever considered streaming on Odysee? I have thought about it. I don't really know how to get it going. Maybe I can do it through Restream if I can figure out how to do that. I've seen that some of you guys are doing that now. Odysee, Odysee. I would love to, honestly, because I don't think it's uploading my videos onto Odysee. I'm hooked up to Odysee and to BitChute, BitChute, and I actually support BitChute because they keep Jesse Lee Peterson's channel parallel archived on BitChute, as well as The Fallen State archived on BitChute. You can find those on BitChute. You can also find The Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, but it doesn't upload everything, nor The Hake Report. It doesn't upload everything. I guess they put lower priority on the smaller channels, is my assumption. Odysee is still a little wonky, but it's really good, says Uncle Ted 88. I do like Odysee. I like how it's, from what I understand, it's uncensorable. I do appreciate that. That's why I jumped on that. You guys may recall that it used to be called Library, lbry.tv/ Jesse Lee Peterson 1, or at The Hake Report, or at The Fallen State TV. But now they've moved it over to be Odysee, Odysee, different spelling, odysee.com/ Jesse Lee Peterson 1, or / I think it's at Jesse Lee Peterson 1. Let me check. odysee.com / Jesse Lee Peterson 1. Let me see if it's 1. Nope. So I think it's just at Jesse Lee Peterson. See if it works. Is it doing it? Is it going to do it? Checking right now? Yes. odysee.com / Jesse Lee Peterson. He has nearly 2,000 followers on that little platform. Nice. Growing platform and excellent and ever improving. Let's see what my last video is from the Hake Report. The Hake Report on Odysee. I think it may upload my one that I uploaded from Owen Schroyer. Nice. I uploaded a clip of, it uploads every now and then it'll upload a show from July 23rd, last one. An hour of it anyway. But JLP encourages Owen S. after the federal arrest warrant. Be still. That was a video that I uploaded yesterday. You can check it out on the Hake Report on YouTube or on Odysee. Very nice. Thank you to the 300 followers or so who are there. 285 specifically. That's cool. I appreciate that. I'm not too good at upkeeping all of that stuff, but thank you for the suggestion. I may look into streaming on Odysee. That's cool. We are at the top of the hour, guys. I have more calls to get to. There is one line open, 888-775-3773. I got to get to Steven in Rhode Island next, but hang tight, Steven. He wants to talk about the weapons left behind in Afghanistan if you watched earlier this show. K-Dog in Chicago, Illinois. Chuck in Detroit. Oh, he was on hold forever yesterday. Got to get to him. But first, I have another. This is the last one of the day, guys. I promise. The last Johnny Respect song of the day. Oh no, this is not The Mind is a Hypocrite. This is Life by the Numbers. Hope you enjoy it. I know I do. And hang tight for the rest of hour 2. Be right back, guys. Isn't that so good? I loved it. I stayed quiet for the whole thing. And it looked like you guys were at least enjoying the drummer's work. I saw a few compliments for this drummer from Johnny Respect. I forget what his name was. But you will see it in the liner notes in future songs, or you can rewind it. My favorite part of the music is when they end. Says Joshua Everything. Hake's fingers making me dizzy. Yeah, for those of you listening on the audio podcast, when we play the music, this drummer is not terrible. Nice. When we play the music, I try to show the lyrics in the liner notes from the CD, and I point to the lyrics so that you guys can follow along, but my finger jumps around, and it's really close up because the lyrics are really small. So I zoom way in to like 2.5 times, and I'm holding it on my cell phone. I don't have the steadiest hands. And so, like, my fingers all shaking around. This song's better than the first one for sure, says Lord Grimm. Yeah, it's great. Hake has the worst music, says Colin Barrett. Thrasher music, says Kid Combo. Makes me want to skate. Hey, even Ricky Retardo likes the drummer. Then chorus, then bridge. Super Dave predicting the punk rock. Punk rock's supposed to be predictable, man. Or is it? Maybe not. Maybe it's supposed to be unpredictable. Like Trump. Is Trump punk rock or is he alpha? America first. That wasn't bad, Hake Report. I didn't even mute, says Uncle Ted, 88. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for the support, all the super chats and all that stuff. I have some calls to get to. I want to get to a story, though, because there's so much mess going on. I don't want to tell about it. First, let me just... Oh, yeah, this is going to spark you guys. I mean, some of you guys are probably going to be heated about this. I saw this. You know, I follow some people who've been censored on Twitter, so I go over to Telegram and follow them on Telegram, which is, I think it's a Russian app. A Russian app. And people have been, some of the most decent people that you want to meet have been censored on Twitter. It's ridiculous. But I saw this on, I think it was Vincent James, real Vincent James. He shared this, clip 13. He said this is a kindergarten teacher. No, I don't believe it's a kindergarten teacher. This is a preschool teacher. Kindergartners, when I was a kid, when I was in kindergarten, 5 years old. I was 5 years old. Some people, I feel like there were two little kids who were 4 and then they turned 5. Or maybe they were 5 and then they turned 6. Some people were 6. Preschool is 4-year-olds, sometimes 3 and 4-year-olds. 5 if you're old. This is a preschool teacher talking about SJW stuff. And she's a young woman. And I use the term woman loosely. She's basically an overgrown girl. And she acts all girly and like she thinks she's cute. And because she's young, she may still have a little bit of cuteness, but nothing she said was cute. It's evil. Listen to this horrific testimony about this preschool teacher's propaganda that she's pushing on children. Preschoolers. Evil. Listen to this.
This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator, and we have been rocking our Choose class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been fabulous. But our teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our students plainly looked up and said, "Well, I'm a girl today, but I know that teacher Co isn't." No, they're NB. And the look on the incoming teacher's face was priceless. She was shocked in a good way, and she just looked around at the two of us and said, "This class is incredible, and I am so impressed."
Isn't that psycho? That was a TikTok video, and it looked real to me. I don't think that was fake. Was that fake? She looks scary, says Optimist777. Yeah. This is I think she referred to herself and her fellow teacher as queer. And a student said something like NB. I think that's short for non-binary. That wasn't fake, says Super Dave. Yeah, the way she was talking, it was convincing. She looks old, says Black Stepdad. I think that's what the Black Stepdad said. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking 20s, 30s. 20s, 30s. Yeah, not good. This is a 6-year-old in an adult body, says Red. Worse, though. Worse. She probably has many cats. Yeah. Just evil. That seemed a little scripted, says right-wing something, something, something guy. Yeah, maybe. But that is the type of person who is teaching, regardless. Whether that's real or fake, I think it's real. That was actually tweeted out by a guy. Was that tweeted out by? I forget. But it was shared by Vincent James. Sick stuff. But that's the type of people. You've seen clips of other female so-called teachers who are saying horrific things. Oh, Robbie Starbuck tweeted something different, a totally different teacher at a high school. And I'll play that for you another day. Another female teacher, older maybe, said, most of your parents are dumber than you. You don't have to do everything your parents say. I hate Donald Trump. Some of the quotes from this teacher named Leah Kenyon at Lehigh High School in Lehi, Utah. People, help me out. This happens all over America, but most don't have a kid brave enough to film it, says Robbie Starbuck. I'll play that clip for you another day, but horrific things that the evil teacher, call no man teacher, definitely call no woman teacher. A lot of women, even Christian women, want to brainwash their kids. And some of them even call it brainwashing about Christianity and all this stuff. Even when you tell them this so-called factual things or true things, like don't have sex out of wedlock and stuff. The women do it in the wrong way, and it just makes people worse. Sick stuff. Uncle Ted 88 says she's been saying stuff like that for a few years on Twitter before TikTok, tagging me over there. This same one. There are more tweets, says Uncle Ted 88. Yeah. Unsurprising, really. Unsurprising. And it makes people angry. And they want to make the sensible people angry. Somebody said, God forgive me, I'm getting angry. Yeah. Cool it. Even a child who is brainwashed in this evil can break out of it. There are stories all the time. So do not lose heart, but it is, don't close your eyes to the evil, but just don't be overcome by evil. Overcome evil with good, right? Terrible things. Speaking of one more evil woman, just to play real quick for you guys. Nancy Pelosi, Nervous Nancy, had a party. And this was a picnic, an outdoor picnic with a bunch of old people. This is clip 11. It's just a clip of it. You've probably seen this. It was all over the cable news channels and stuff like that. Nervous Nancy, with her mask below her face, talking into a mic, talking about how do we win the young people over. And it's the point of it is not what she's saying because it gets cut off. It's just showing, for the podcast listeners, it's panning around and showing all these people eating and being served a bunch of food. And they're outdoors, all bunched up together, no masks. And that's great. That's how we all should live. But freedom for me and not for thee, right? Watch this and listen.
We have in store for later. But for now,
DCCC,
question was asked this morning by
Democrat
Ambassador Solomon
Congressional
about
Committee,
young
something.
people and how we're
Reaching out to young people.
Well, young people, we always ask them, how do you want to be reached?
Look at all these
out
old
to?
people.
And one of the main
Nobody concerned. Fancy event. Fancy event. Those chairs are not 6 feet apart. They're not even 6 inches apart. I don't think. And they all look like, even if they were triple vaccinated, booster shot, they're still old and fat and unhealthy and at risk from the Delta variant, which I hear. Is it true? I mean, I hear that the Delta variant is supposedly, that's the India mutation. I heard that that's hospitalizing kids. Rarely, but it does. But I heard that the symptoms are hay fever. Hay fever means you sneeze, your nose itches. Very obnoxious. Nobody likes hay fever. I don't want hay fever. Keep away from me. But I'm not going to force you to get the third so-called vaccination, and then it still breaks through. The heck? And apparently these people are for that mess too. And you know what? I talked with a friend yesterday who saw this footage, and another one of, Gavin Newsom doesn't care. Barack Obama doesn't care. He was actually kind of upset because at his work, he's fighting being forced to get this so-called vaccine. And right now they're respecting it. Although the FDA did approve it yesterday, supposedly. Ron Johnson, a senator, he claims, and I don't know, but he claims that it's politically motivated, that they approved it within less than a year of it even being created, much less approved on emergency use authorization, EUA. And then he has to wear, he had to shave his beard, put on a N95 mask all day, and a 95 mask all day. He has to get tested every week, where they shove the thing up your nose. His nose is bleeding sometimes because of the irritation from the testing thing. They shove this thing up into your skull, said one caller. But he's willing to go through with it. And then it's just... Everybody's pretending to take it so seriously, and then this. It is kind of a slap in the face. You can understand the consternation. Terrible. I got to get to Steven in Rhode Island. He wants to talk about the weapons left behind in Afghanistan. There's one line open, guys. I'll try to get to everybody. Steven, thanks for holding, man. How are you?
Hey, man, all's well. What's up, Hake?
Not much.
Report. La, la, la.
Hey, can I tell your username on the chat? Are you the Steven that I think you are from Rhode Island?
Yes, sir. I met you in person at the men's conference. You can go ahead and dox me, bro.
Steven Absolution on the line. Nice, man.
Nice. What's going on, Hake? I got a list here for you of all the guns, all the armored vehicles. I'll try to cut it in half so that way I don't take up too much of your time.
Tell me about it.
So we got 208 plus aircraft, 2,000 armored vehicles, including Humvees and MRAPs, 75,989 total vehicles. That's the Ford Rangers you saw. There's Ford F-350s, Ford vans, Toyota pickups, armored security vehicles, Black Hawk 45 UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters. There's scout choppers, drones. Drones. Wow, drones. I need to read all this list. 30 military versions of, I don't know what that is. Cessnas. I don't know what that is. There's also...
This is all stuff left behind in Afghanistan.
Yes, sir.
By the Biden administration. Some of it given to the Afghan army. Some of it we just up and left it, right?
Yep.
Or am I wrong?
Yeah, most of the stuff is left right at the base. 600,000 plus small arms M16, M249, SAWs, M24 sniper systems, 50 caliber.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. This is insane. Grenade launchers, miniguns, Gatling guns, and all the ammunition that goes with it. 61,000 M203 rounds, 20,000 grenades. Oh, my goodness. Mortars, thousands of mortars, 162,000 pieces of encrypted military communications gear, 16,000 pairs of night vision goggles, newest technology, night vision scopes, thermal scopes, goggles. This is unbelievable, man. The list just goes on. Body armor. I'm skipping down here.
Yeah.
And then the last thing it says is lots of heavy equipment, including bulldozers, backhoes, dump trucks, and excavators.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That's like
Merry Christmas from Sleepy Joe.
I mean, you could start like 2 full armies with all that.
Yeah, especially if the army crews are not high on drugs all the time and getting bribed to defend their own country. The heck?
What the?
Yeah, what a mess. Wow.
Seriously, man. I can't believe we left all that stuff. That's billions and billions. Why'd we leave all that stuff down there? What is wrong with us?
Trump wanted to bring that stuff back, and he wanted to bring the civilians home, the Americans. And he wanted to cut down and do it in an orderly way and with conditions. Yeah, Trump would have never let this happen. Would never have let this happen. I agree.
No, Trump was talking about pulling our people out first.
Right.
Now we're leaving guns for them? I mean, come on, man.
What a joke.
Mess over there.
Yeah. And I wonder,
man, it was a pleasure meeting you.
I wonder if Trump knew how bad it was, because it was this bad, I want to say, for 20 years. They were putting up with a joke of Afghanistan military for 20 years. I'm sure some of those guys were competent, maybe like a handful, like one or two. It's kind of like honestly, I almost hesitate to say it, but it's like the Mexicans who work here at our local places. Some of them, they'll show up every day, but whether they do a good job in their work, it's a totally different story. Quality work, you don't really expect it from Mexicans. Every now and then, you'll run into one who takes pride in their work. And even them, they'll steal and lie and cheat. And so I think that it's a similar situation over there in Afghanistan, where most of them just don't take it seriously. They don't believe in what you believe in. It's a shame.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same. They don't agree with us. They're not on the same page as us.
Right.
They might have similarities.
And honestly, some of them, on some of the stuff, they shouldn't. We're promoting, not we, but the so-called American establishment is promoting feminism and degeneracy and LGBT. Did I put the picture in the folder? It might be in the don't show section of the Afghanistan, Kabul. I think it's the Kabul rainbow gay flag, LGBT. Yeah, Kabul LGBT rainbow flag tweet from June 2nd of this year. The U.S. Embassy in Kabul, a blue check mark on Twitter, tweeted, "The month of June is recognized as LGBTI Pride Month. The United States respects the dignity and equality, neither of which exist in the LGBTQI people." Oh, no Q. "And celebrates their contributions to the society. They're a drag on society. We remain committed
to... They don't have an IQ.
I know. We remain committed to supporting civil rights, no such thing, of minorities, including LGBTI persons. Hashtag Pride 2021, hashtag Pride Month." And they put the seal of the, the State Department, right above a disgraceful rainbow flag, globo homo flag.
Oh my goodness, man.
What a
they
shame.
Must be smoking the minerals.
Yeah,
they must be smoking all the minerals that Afghanistan is on.
Yeah, I wouldn't take drugs, but I can't blame the Afghanistan military for taking drugs after seeing that. Anyway.
I can't blame them either, Hake. Seriously. They must be all about it.
The I think, is for intersex, which is an actual condition that people are born with. I think it's actually, originally it used to be called hermaphrodite, where you have like both things, whatever. They're trying to lump that in to make it seem more biologically legitimate. Because the whole rest of it is imaginary. It's all in the head. It's
that might even be imaginary.
Might too.
I don't know.
Yeah, might too.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, I appreciate it,
man.
Steven.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for taking my call. It was a pleasure meeting you, man.
You too.
Stay, bro. Have a safe one.
All right. Take care. Very nice. That's disgusting. It is disgusting. And I've heard ISIS bring this stuff up, and evil people who have a gripe doesn't mean they're wrong about everything. That's for sure. Duh. It's good versus evil. And the so-called American establishment is anti-American. It's sexual perversion and mental illness, and it's spiritual lostness. When is Wrath Month? Asks Sela Boom. Fair question. Rock Climber with a super chat, man. Thank you. Couple of super chats there. Nervous Nancy could never get a crowd like Trump. Beta Nance. True. Nervous Nancy. That was the DCCC. I think that's a organization that's meant to bring about more congressional candidates in the Democrat Party. Rock Climber also says the military heads did this whole thing on purpose in Afghanistan, create a crisis, claim to be the ones who can fix the crisis, and then exploit it and never fix it. And they stay paid anyway. Reminds me of Dr. Fauci. Does Dr. Fauci use Botox, or is it all adrenochrome? I'm just kidding about the adrenochrome. I don't know. I'm spreading rumors. But he seems like his face is remarkably unwrinkly and unnatural, and he looks like somebody compared him to a Keebler elf. I think that was Mike Cernovich, the guy who's been on the JLP show and on the Fallen State and a men's conference in years past. But he looks like he has this constant little bit of a smirk. He has 2 dimples in his, and then he just looks sick. Maybe it's just the video quality. Because I've seen some pictures of him where he looks horrific, evil, full of malice and rage, especially against people holding him to the truth. Omar is a first-time caller in Fullerton, California. Omar, how you doing? How's Fullerton doing?
I'm doing good. I was put on to your show by a friend of mine named Nathan, and we're always going back, waxing philosophical about different things that Jesse Lee says. He's a Jesse Lee fanatic.
Okay.
And,
it's not a good thing to be a fanatic. You want to,
He's fanatic. He's really into Jesse, and
okay. I'm sorry to hear that. It's not good to be into any person.
I agree with some things Jesse says. I agree with a lot of people that I disagree with overall.
Okay.
Because sometimes people that you disagree with know things that you may overlook, or
True.
And
yeah,
so
even people who are hate-filled can say something that is true, and maybe many of your friends may not even point this out about you, but you hear it and it's like, oh, you know what? That's true. So yeah.
And some people that are love-filled are so loving, they'll allow you to go off a cliff.
Yeah, that's not real love, but I know what you mean. Yep.
Yeah, well, I guess we could say it's real love if it's in reality, right?
If it's in reality, they'll let you go off the cliff, but they'll warn you that the cliff is there.
There's a lot of people that are enablers,
Right. Enablers are not loving.
They show aspects of love, or they show certain types of love.
Yeah, but it's not the whole thing.
I wouldn't go as far as saying
it's imperfect.
Well, no one shows the whole thing, really. I mean, in the Bible alone, there's like how many different types of love? There's eros, there's phileo,
and agape.
There's agape. Yeah.
That's according to the Greeks, I think. But yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Aside from, according to the Greeks, I mean that's those are the words that are used to describe love in the scriptures. So
where are the Greeks now? Bankrupt. Are those the same Greeks? Anyway.
Yeah, well, a lot of Greek culture has found its way into American culture. America's based a lot on Roman Greek.
I've heard that.
Greco-Roman indulgences and idolatrous, positionality. But I don't know if you got the. I don't know if you got.
I didn't catch it.
I don't know if you caught. I don't know if you caught the question that I asked. But
I see. It seems. I see this line. This is the line that's described under your call. It seems like you're a white supremacist. Is that what you wanted to call me about?
Yeah, because I hear a lot of undertones and tonalities and regurgitated talking points that fall under that premise.
What's a white supremacist?
Someone that believes that white ways of living and thinking are supreme above all other groups, and therefore what it happens is all other groups and ideologies and ways of thinking and action are filtered and processed and validated as good or bad based on how well they align to those things.
Oh, what's a white way of thinking?
One example is when you say people people need to stop playing victim. They have a victim mentality.
That's a white way of thinking?
Yeah, I can explain it to you. I can explain how.
Yes, but first, before you explain how,
get caught up in the shock of the word and how it affects you emotionally.
The shock of what word?
Using white and saying it's a white way of thinking.
Oh, okay. First of all, are you white though? Are you white?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not? Not even a little bit white?
Oh, probably. I would say because of slavery, yeah, definitely. I'm maybe 10 to 15% white, probably.
Your name is Omar. Are you black or Hispanic? Or both?
I'm black. My name is Omaa, O-M-A-H, but people call me Omar so much I just let it slide.
Oh, I see. So your parents named you Omah?
My dad named me Omar, yes, correct.
Wow, where did that, if you don't mind my asking, where did that name come from? How did he come up with that name?
Nigeria. He's an Igbo.
He's a what? And what?
An Igbo. He's from the Igbo tribe of Nigeria.
Oh, wow. So your father came to America from Nigeria. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's an immigrant.
And then your mother was an American or is an American black.
Yeah, an American descendant of slavery, yeah.
Wow, she's a descendant of slavery. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, the institution of slavery that built America, correct.
It didn't build America.
Oh, it did, but you like to reflect on that.
No, it did not.
Yeah, at one point, all the slaves in America were worth more than the land and anything in it.
So are you proud of your slave ancestry?
Because of the perseverance and what it was able to produce, yes, I am proud of that.
That's nice. Don't overestimate what it produced, though. Don't make up stuff about what it produced.
Oh, I don't.
The South was pretty poor. The South was poor.
And you shouldn't make up that I'm making things up. You know, that's where you put your foot in your mouth.
So you think that it's a white value? You think it's a white value to say there's no skyscrapers made of cotton when user says.
Yeah, but the capital used to create international trade, which led to industrialization, which led to the skyscrapers, is where you're off.
No, but it wasn't from slavery, man.
Yeah, that's the startup capital.
No, but
just
anyway.
Just like Jeff Bezos got startup.
So you're saying there's nothing wrong with slavery?
Jeff Bezos got set up. There's a lot wrong with slavery. There's a need for reparative justice. That's where reparations.
Oh, come on. That's a white way of thinking too. That's a fellow white way of thinking.
Well, yeah, whiteness is basically normalization and stability.
So how come you're still thinking white?
And it's also a denial of other non-white groups.
Why are you still thinking white? Fellow white.
Well, because
are you a Christian?
Yeah, definitely a Christian.
You don't think like a Christian?
Well, according to you, I don't.
That's correct. According to me, you do not think like a Christian whatsoever.
According to you, but your
you think like an atheist.
Your version of Christianity that you push is very flawed and inaccurate in many ways, and it's built off of.
Are you college educated?
Yeah, definitely.
I can tell. Indoctrinated. What a shame.
I mean, a shame is denying.
So being a victim is a good thing in anti-white culture?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't frame it in the way you're framing it, but I can explain it to you if you'd like me to explain it to you, or if you want to answer my questions for me, we could do that too, but I'd rather explain
I'm asking you. It's a yes or no question. Is victimhood a good thing in the anti-white culture?
I don't follow anti-white culture. I follow anti-white supremacy culture.
Is victimhood a good thing in the anti-white culture?
It's not a good thing because whiteness is a social construct created by Anglo-Saxons.
So victimhood is not a good thing for you guys either.
Did you miss my part? Stop deflecting. I said whiteness is a social construct created by Anglo-Saxons.
Yeah. I've heard all that before.
Who didn't acknowledge that most people who consider themselves
Yeah. We've heard that all before. Omar, I want to get to the point. I'm asking you are deflecting from the point because I asked you about victimhood and you're telling me about something else.
I'm not. I told you that victimhood is not good.
You just admitted that victimhood is not good in any culture.
Victimhood is not good, but it is a material reality.
But you claimed that it's a white thing to say victimhood is not good. But it's
Yeah,
an anti-white thing too, according to you.
From a deflective standpoint, yes.
Man, you are so blind. I can't. Am I talking to a man? Were you born a man? A male?
Definitely.
You're not LGBTIQ?
Absolutely not. I'm not with the alphabet gang.
How come you talk like them?
I don't talk like them.
Yeah, you do.
It sounds like that to people who are very surface level, who regurgitate conservative white supremacist talking points.
You're very surface level too, man. You're just as
I'm
nuts.
not surface level.
You're just as much a fanatic.
You want to talk conservatism? How far you want to go back?
You are just as much a
revolutionary.
Omar, calm down.
Can you take it back to the British Crown?
Omar,
talk conservatism, or do you want to talk borrowed thoughts that are regurgitated?
Omar. You are just as much a fanatic as your friend Nathan. You are just as lost and blind.
My friend Nathan knows Jesse Lee Peterson better than you probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
As far as from an argumentative standpoint, from a polemic standpoint.
You're such a poser, man. But thanks for your call. You can call again.
I get busy. You need to quit the victim mentality. Conservatism is victim mentality.
But you just admitted now you're embracing white supremacy by saying victimhood is a bad thing.
There's different flavors of white supremacy. There's liberal white supremacy. There's
So
conservative.
Omar, you're not even really wanting to have a conversation.
I do want to.
No, you don't.
I'm answering you. I'm articulating.
You're not articulate.
I told you there's two flavors of
you're
white
babbling.
supremacy. There's liberal white supremacy and there's conservative white supremacy. I do not appreciate either flavor.
You're babbling.
But I know how they work.
You don't know anything.
I know your playbook. It goes back to the 13 colonies. You
don't know anything.
You're not saying anything.
Do you know yourself?
Yes, I know myself.
Who are you then?
I definitely know myself.
Who are you?
I am a black American male.
That is not who you are.
That is who I am.
No, it's not.
According to social constructs, that's who I am.
Then you don't know who you are. You only know the social constructs mess.
In the United States of America, I am a black American male.
You're anti-American.
Now, if you want to,
you are anti-American.
Absolutely not.
Did you go to Fullerton? Did you go to Fullerton College?
I went there. I went to several colleges, on and offline.
Wow, what a shame.
What a shame that you would think it's shameful.
Okay. Well,
yeah, there's conservative victimology and there's liberal victimology. You're somewhere in between both, but you teeter more towards white wing victimology.
You got to check. You got to look at yourself, buddy.
I do.
No, you don't.
When I look in the mirror, I see the Hank in me, and I also see the Jesse Lee in me. I see the Farrakhan in me. I see the Rush Limbaugh in me. I see the. You're
possessed? Are you possessed?
I see many facets of me.
Are you possessed?
Yeah, possessed by the Holy Spirit, according to Acts 2:38.
No, man, you are arrogant.
I'm just as arrogant as you. I'm more willing.
Does that make it right to be arrogant? Just because I'm arrogant too, that you are arrogant, does it justify you being arrogant?
It means I'm acknowledging my Americanness.
You think it's American to be arrogant?
Definitely. America's about land
so
theft.
Are you proud of being arrogant?
Land theft and labor theft.
Are you proud of being arrogant and shallow?
I'm not. I'm ashamed of my arrogance and my shallowness, and I'm ashamed of your denial of yours.
You don't need to worry about me, buddy.
No one's worrying. I'm just pointing it out.
Yes, you are. You're like a woman.
As
when you look at your faults, when I point out your faults, you have to lump me in with you.
Not pointing out Proverbs.
You're like a woman.
I'm chiseling you. That's all. You're flabby. You're kind of flabby. You have flabby arguments.
What the heck?
Iron sharpens iron. You're kind of dull. I'm sharpening you up.
Man, this guy's delusional.
I've got several scriptures.
Okay, Omar, I appreciate your call, man. How old are you?
And I appreciate your conservative victimhood. I'm just here to help you.
How old are you?
As a brother. 39.
Wow. Anyway, call me again, buddy. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Is that worse than Chuck? I got to get to K-Dog. What a name. I feel like a clown saying, am I a clown? K-Dog in Chicago, Illinois. Man, How come you're calling yourself K-Dog? Can you give me a normal name?
My name is Kevin, but you nearly gave me a migraine with that argument back and forth.
I know. I tried to bring it back down into reality.
You love that shit. You love that drama. You sometimes just gotta hang up. The
True.
conversation ain't going nowhere. You just gotta hang up.
Yeah.
But I wanted to call.
Are you on a Bluetooth right now? You sound like you're on speakerphone or Bluetooth on the road, on the way to.
I was driving. Hold on one second.
On the way to meet up with that lesbian mayor of yours over in Chicago, whom I'm sure you did not vote for. This is Kevin in Chicago. You sound exactly the same, man.
No, I don't. I just took it off speakerphone. What's up?
Okay, stay close to your phone. Very close.
Okay. As far as what I was going to call in and talk about, it's these communists on Twitter. I'm shocked at the amount of communists on Twitter with the hammer and sickle in their bio. I went down the rabbit hole that is the Proud Boys trending topic, and I was just shocked at the amount of communists out in the open, self-described, proud about it. And it's just shocking to me because I don't think they understand the history of the atrocities.
You're too quiet, buddy. You're too quiet. I don't know. You're coming in really low.
The shocking communists out in the open. It's shocking to me. You don't see these Nazis out in the open with the swastika, but these fucking communists are just blatantly, proudly, brazenly about their communist agenda, and it's shocking to me. What's your thoughts on that? I'll leave it to it.
You are so right. Avoid cussing on my show. This is a family-friendly show, man. But I appreciate your sentiment. It's true. They are open and brazen about it, and it's trendy to be a commie now. I mean, the whole Democrat Party, I mean, it's not special to be a communist. So is Joe Biden. He's a communist. He's just like a step behind you, but it's the same thing, idiots. I'm talking to the commies. And actually, that caller who called into my show, he was spouting dumb communism, and he thinks he's a Christian. I guess he hung up. But thank you. Yeah, that yelling was helping. Appreciate you yelling. Can't cuss, man. Hey, shout out, fellow RSer. Nice to see you. I used to call him fellow riser. But yeah, thank you, man. Kevin, who called himself K-Dog from Chicago, Illinois. I appreciate that. Some ridiculous stuff. It was shocking to me, too. I mean, our whole establishment is communist, really. Before I get to calls, back to calls. You guys saw Ashli Babbitt. I saw on Tucker Carlson's show 2 days ago or the other day or whatever, I don't know. Yet another organization or whatever these things are called, department, cleared Ashli Babbitt's killer of any wrongdoing in shooting the unarmed woman who posed no threat. She had no business jumping through that broken window, I grant you. In that sense, you deserve what you get. But that was evil. And it was incompetence, I say. And the guy, I don't know if he panicked. I don't know if he had malice. I don't know if he didn't realize the gravity of what he was doing. I don't know if there's a lot of blacks, I'm told, and you see it really when you see these videos of how these people mob and people kick them in the head, knock them out, steal their stuff, or just shoot one another, and other races too, whites, Asians, Jewish people, everybody. They have no regard for human life or suffering, just heartless. How they can do it to another human being. Maybe that's what was going on with this Capitol Police officer. Mike Bird. Michael L. B-Y-R-D is the name that's floating around. I don't know. Maybe it's not him. But it looks like it might have been him. A few years ago, he left behind his Glock in the public restroom over there in the Capitol building, I think. One group of affirmative action Capitol Police officers, I call them affirmative action, government workers. They stay paid anyway, no matter how bad of a job they do. It's hard to fire them. They leave their Glocks unattended, and a kid came across one of their Glocks in the public bathroom of the Capitol over the years. Incompetence, carelessness, malice. A bunch of these people are shameless liberals. Some of these so-called police who so-called served amid the mostly peaceful Capitol protest on January 6th, 2021 AD. They're grandstanding. They're Biden supporters. They're Trump haters. They're commies. And the feds protect their own. You know how Black Lives Matter, you'll see it on Twitter if you go on Twitter. The communists, Black Lives Matter, suckers too, useful idiots. A useful idiot is someone who may not know that they subscribe to communism, but they're knowingly or unknowingly supporting it because they're blind and brainwashed, foolish, senseless, faithless, have no faith in God. Senseless, faithless, heartless, ruthless. Isn't that one of the lines from the Bible? This bird guy with his bead bracelet looks like a foreigner to me. Maybe he's a black American. BYRD. I don't know if that's the real name of, they haven't officially named this guy. They dox every other local cop who rightfully kills a black in self-defense or in the course of stuff. But this guy skates. And I don't doubt that there have been threats against him because the world is evil now, and even the people on the side of good are angry. And so there's a few people who are for what's right or for Trump or for America who are just so angry that they would resort to threats and mess. But that's much more rare compared to the left. The left is and always has been more violent and destructive and evil and murderous. But it's affecting the right, too. That's why we're so weak, because anger is weakness. It's evil. It's fear. And so I'm sure that there are a few threats. I'm not for lynching people. Give me a break. But we don't have actual justice. Due process is not even allowed anymore. So they're just letting this guy skate. It's such a shame. And there are people who are for celebrating the death of Ashli Babbitt. He looks Ugandan or something. Yeah, or some island or something. Rent-a-cop. He got off. Some people call him murderer. I would say at least like a manslaughter, right? Terrible shame. And that is the DOJ let him off, and now the U.S. Capitol Police let him off too. Disgraceful. I got to get to Chuck in Detroit, Michigan. He's been on hold forever and ever, yesterday and today. Chuck in Detroit, another deep man. How are you?
Yeah. Thank. I like that. Another deep man. I like that. I'm fine. Listen,
sarcasm.
I'm in a great mood. You meant it from your heart. But listen, I'm in a great mood. You know why I'm in a great mood?
Yeah, why?
That brother, Omaa, O-M-A-A. That's my brother.
I think it's O-M-A-H, but I could be mistaken.
Okay, well, we both could, but we know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yep.
My brother. He just put you together, man. We gave him a standing ovation over here. You should hear him in my basement right now.
A fellow child of Satan. I'm not surprised.
Well, man, come on now. Hey, sometimes, look.
It's not an insult. It's not meant to be an insult. It's meant to be the truth.
Hey, listen. You know how you had a lot of fights.
Would you rather I lie? Would you rather I lie and pretend I don't think that he's a fellow child of Satan?
I really wouldn't care. But listen.
Okay.
You know how when you grew up.
Then why tell me, come on?
You grew up, no, listen.
Go ahead.
You know how when you grew up and you had a lot of fights, some of them you lost. Now, when you admit that, some
I lost
of them you
no
lost.
fights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you lost today. That's my whole point. You lost in that debate. That's what
says
I'm leading
you.
up to. Yeah, says us. But listen, I tell that, I love you, brother. Keep putting them together like that. But listen, anyway, my point was...
That's funny.
What I called for was, what you think of the N-word, my friend? I was following your word play yesterday.
Yeah, the N-word.
Let me hear you.
The N-word?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yes. Don't stutter now.
I like the N-word.
Yeah, you was like the N-word. Tell me what you like about it.
I like the N-word because it's catchy. It's funny. It's sometimes true. it can be said it's multi-use. I mean, I know that white people don't have the freedom of speech anymore because white people are like under major attack. We don't have our civil rights. But I love the N-word. It's useful. It's handy. You know, there are times when you shouldn't say it out of respect.
Are you done yet?
Out of respect,
Right,
but
you
it's
done.
it is an
when do you,
excellent word.
okay, Hake, I get it. I get it. When do you use it in disrespect? When do Hake use it? Since you know
In
how to use
disrespect,
it.
when
How often? Hold on. How often are you disrespectful with it? Since you know the difference.
Oh,
How
I
often do you
stopped
get-
using it. I don't use it anymore.
Right. I'm saying, were you being disrespectful? Yeah, you're so funny. Was you being disrespectful when you did use it?
Oh, I mean, if it's meant to be disrespectful. Yes.
So you were
yes,
being,
indeed.
Right, so you were being
Sometimes it's not.
disrespectful.
Sometimes it's not meant
Okay,
to
I
be
got,
disrespectful.
but you meant it when you said it in a disrespectful way, right?
At times, sometimes playful.
See, now you're scared. You scared.
No, I'm not scared.
No. Stand on what you believe.
Chuck,
Hey,
every time you say the N-word, does it mean disrespectful, or it can be respectful or disrespectful?
Listen.
Is it not a multi-use word?
If you want me to respect you, stand on what you believe in.
Is it not a multi-use word? I don't want your respect.
Listen, you must do because you're sitting there acting scared.
Is it not?
How you being,
no, I'm not scared.
I can tell how
is
you're
it
being
not
hesitant.
Nuh-uh.
Listen.
No, because it
that
means
brother
multiple
got
different things. Sometimes you mean it disrespectfully.
Who are you?
Sometimes you mean it
to say what
playfully.
it mean? Hey, well, listen. Since you're saying what it means.
Depends on the
Do you
situation. Duh.
Right. Okay, you're right. Let me tell you what it meant to y'all when y'all started calling us that. Do you know what that meant?
You don't know all.
Do you know where your ancestors got the use of the word from? Is what
I
I'm
don't know if my ancestors ever used that word. I don't know if they ever even heard it.
Okay, the slave masters, your ancestors, where did they get the word from?
Well, I'm flattered that you think that my ancestors were slave masters. That is awesome.
What
What an honor.
Okay, well, where did
slave
we
masters.
We passed that.
Awesome.
What did they do? Okay, what you look at you running, dodging.
No. Slave masters. It's awesome to have been a slave master.
Where did they get it from?
I would not.
Where did they
want that.
Where did they get the word from?
I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? But it wasn't a derogatory word.
So you really don't know what it means then.
It wasn't a derogatory word. It means black.
Well, what was it? Right. It was a hurtful, hateful thing.
No, it wasn't. Don't be a woman.
Listen.
Why are you such a woman? It was not a hurtful, hateful thing. It was a reference.
Don't try to control.
It was a reference
don't try
to you.
Control me. Don't try to control the conversation. I'm making the point
I'm
to
the
you.
host. I'm supposed to
of.
control the conversation. It was
a
description. You ever read Tom Sawyer?
Yeah. Listen.
You ever read Tom Sawyer?
I have a question for you. You're the one.
Have you ever read Tom Sawyer?
Right? Listen.
Answer the question, buddy.
Right quick. Man, listen.
Because I've read Tom Sawyer.
Who cares? I don't care.
I put him on hold. I've read Tom Sawyer, and they throw around the N-word, hard R, E-R, and it's not derogatory. That's just what they were called. So I think that there's kind of like the B word, B-I-T-C-H word, that Jesse says willy-nilly, because he grew up, it wasn't meant to be some horrific insult. It was derogatory, but it wasn't a horrific insult that it is today. It wasn't such a bad word. Same thing, I think, with the N-word. The control freaks try to control the language and ban words when the B word or the N-word didn't used to be such a put-down word, dehumanizing. Give me a break. It was just a description. So, Chuck, you're not being honest, man. You don't know history.
Listen, you wasted everybody's time. That's what you just did.
By taking your call, I know.
By thinking you're spitting knowledge.
Can you read?
Me, that's what I'm talking about.
Can you read?
Anyway.
Do you know how to read?
I do read, but this is what
you ever read Tom Sawyer?
Listen, read.
You ever read Tom Sawyer?
I'm about to tell you how y'all came about.
Have you read Tom Sawyer?
Don't you want to hear that? Listen,
Huckleberry Finn. You ever read Huckleberry Finn?
I don't care about none of that.
Okay, goodbye then. I'm going to hang up on you because you're not answering my questions. You don't want to have a conversation.
Listen, hey.
I'm going to hang up.
Listen to this right quick.
You can say yes or no. You can say yes or no.
Look, no.
No what?
Pink,
no what?
Man.
No, you did not read those books?
Listen.
Are you saying no, you did not read those books?
No. But listen.
No, you did not read those books? Be clear.
Yeah, no. Hey,
yeah, no
listen,
what?
No. Let me tell
yeah,
you.
no
let me
what?
Tell you where you.
I'm going to hang up if you don't be clear.
Let me tell you where you.
I'm going to hang up if you don't be clear.
From.
You can answer the question, or I can hang up.
Hey, why? Why? All right. I said no. Then
no
I say
to
no.
What?
Pink man.
No to what?
I said no to your question.
No, you have not read those books.
No to your question.
No, you have not read those books.
Look here, you pink.
All right. What a mess. Too proud to slow down and cooperate. Work with me, buddy. Work with me, Chuck. Next time you call, you won't be wasting your call because you will know that we work together and have a conversation. I answer your questions, you answer mine. Pizza funds, says Lin Yan Chin with a Trovo colorful chat. Thank you for your call, though, man. Thank you. I appreciate that you continue to call and watch my show, and supposedly you show your posse my show in your basement or your mother's basement or whoever's basement. That's nice. No harm meant. Rock Climber claims, and I don't think that this is true, but Rock Climber claims with the super chat about you, Chuck. Chuck didn't read Tom Sawyer because he can't read. I don't believe that, though, Chuck. But I think that you were saying that you didn't read the book, but what a mess. Chuck sounds like he is about to cry for being called the N-word. We should be calling him the B-word, says Hydro. Over there on Streamlabs. You can respond to that another day, Chuck. You gotta slow down. Communicate with me, buddy. Don't be so prideful that you can't just cooperate. It's not like I'm whipping you and making you my slave. I just want to communicate, right? Trying to be respectful. If Chuck respects you, says BB42 with a super chat, that's when you need to know Jesus. Or that's when you know you need Jesus. Hake mania just ran wild, brother. Omaa, says Richard TX with a super chat. All you actually see when you look in the mirror is mama. Omaa. O-M-A-H, I think. People call him Omar. All you see when you look in the mirror is mama, says Richard TX. Something to think about, buddy. YouTube abuse has ramped up, on me at least, says Lin Yan Chin with the Trovo colorful chat. Usually algorithms take 17 to 19 seconds to assess a statement and then delete it. But my last few comments vanish at the 0 second mark. This indicates no processing time, just a straight block or lockdown. Am I now exiled? Asks Lin Yan Chin. I don't know, man. I will check and see if you were blocked by me or if it was just YouTube themselves. Oh, man. We have 45 seconds. Let me quickly get to Art in Ohio real fast. Art in Ohio, you have 30 seconds. Go for it.
Man, my main man, Hake, man. Hey, first of all, man, that Omar dude, man, he sound like a straight beat. But I don't even understand why you would even take a phone call from Chuck, man.
Yeah.
And get to even talk about anything about the N-I-G-G-E-R word, because he a liberal. And the only reason why he trying to even get you to even talk about that anyways is because he trying to get your black listeners to turn on you, because he trying to get you to slip up and put your foot in your mouth, Hake. So watch yourself when you're talking to a lame beta male like him.
I know.
And then with Leanne, we want to talk about her talking about that the females are unintentionally trying to control males. Unintentionally is a person doing something one time, a female doing something one time and being like, oh, that's my fault, let me fix that. Not them doing it 10 times and then saying, hey, don't hold me accountable. So, Leanne, you a liberal too. You need to go over there with Nancy Pelosi and the old folks and get you some applesauce and sit yourself down, because we ain't buying that liberal nonsense you're talking. And Joe Biden trying to act like he crazy or whatnot, and he ain't crazy. He know exactly what he doing.
Interesting.
They trying not to hold him accountable for all this stuff that he's doing, just bringing all this nonsense and keeping America in all this turmoil. And Kamala Harris can't run nothing or whatnot, so they definitely ain't gonna hold her accountable, because she a dumb female.
Yeah.
Once again, is trying to play a part that she wasn't made for. Hey, God bless you. Hey, God call you again when I got some more time.
I
When you got
appreciate
more
it,
time
Art.
for me.
Thank you, man. Take care. Happy Men's History Month to you.
Yeah, you too. Happy Men's History Month. You too.
All right. And William in California and the rest of the callers, William wanted to say talk about Omah's Slaves Built America comment. Oh, man. I'm sorry I cannot get to you today. Hopefully tomorrow, if we have a show tomorrow, which we plan to. All plans are. So see you tomorrow, guys, hopefully. And take care.